Hi, welcome to another PhotoBlazer tutorial. So today I have a photograph of a Canadian carrying the Olympic torch. And I'm going to use the histogram to correctly expose it using Lightroom. Even though I'm using Lightroom, all these concepts can be applied to any number of photo manipulation software, like Aperture or Photoshop CS2. So the first thing I'll take a look at is the histogram up here. The histogram is just a chart of all the wavelengths of light in your actual photograph. All the light colors, which are the higher frequencies of light, are on the right side of the chart, over here, and the darker colors, the darker light, or the lack of light I should say, are on the left side of the chart. If I click on this arrow here, it actually highlights the areas of the photograph where the wavelengths of light is clipped. This means there's no actual information here, just that it's a zero, which is just dark black. And I can do the same for light areas of the photograph by clicking on the right arrow up here. And now the areas of the photograph which have no color information is now red, which means that this is just white, because the wavelengths of light are being clipped. Now using the histogram you can correct this. So first thing I'm going to do is click on my red arrow so I can see all the areas of the photograph where there is no information because it's just too bright. This is called blooming. It's overexposed. I'll now go to my exposure slide over here and move it to the left, reducing the exposure until those red parts disappear, like that. Now if I zoom out, I can see all my reds have now disappeared. This is because I've reduced the exposure in the photograph. I can move the slide back up and you can see the red. If I go all the way here, you can see the whole photograph just goes red, which means it's totally overexposed. So I'll just reduce it back so that the reds have all disappeared. And I'm going to do the same now for the black, which is on the left side of the graph. And I'm going to move this histogram to the right. And I do that by going to my black slider and moving it to the left a bit until those blues have disappeared. This means there's now light information, there's color information in those areas, and I haven't lost any of my wavelengths of light by being overexposed or underexposed. And now I can see my photograph is much better, it's more well exposed, and it's more balanced. So we can compare it. You can see, there we go. This is before it was corrected, and let's correct it. There we go. So now I have a correctly exposed photograph using Lightroom. And all I did was correct my histogram so that the graph has no clipping on either side of the histogram.